Ladies and gentlemen, we all encounter individuals in our day-to-day lives that do things slightly or extremely better than we do. The problem with those individuals is that they oftentimes share the same space that we are interested in. For example, you might have a friend that constantly scores 2 to 3 points higher than you on exams. It's infuriating. They might even try less than you do. Maybe it's in a sport. Maybe it's in another activity. And in chess, for me, there are certain grandmasters who just play a little bit better than me all the time. And it makes playing against them on chess.com borderline impossible. Like, I lose to them almost all the games that we play. And so for this video, I have dedicated an entire video to an individual by the name of Luis Paulo Supi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is a Brazilian grandmaster, and he is extremely good at chess. This is his chess.com profile. My rating record, actually not rating against this individual, is 2-11. I have one of the worst records against anybody I have ever played on chess.com against Luis Paulo Supi. So the Brazilian audience, this video is really dedicated to you. He also does have a YouTube channel. I believe he streams in Portuguese. And we are going to look at most of the games that Supi and I have played against each other. I'm going to kind of take you through the story of this rivalry, and by rivalry, I mean he basically destroys me every single time that we play. My reaction anytime I'm paired against him on stream is extremely negative, and I'm always extremely sad. So, this journey begins with the very first Blitz game we have ever played against one another, Supi is an extremely strong attacking player. So he's beaten Magnus Carlsen. He was in my video when he sacrificed his queen against Magnus, and he plays the Tal variation of the Caro-Kann. This is one of the most aggressive ways to play, with the intention of trying to trap the bishop with g4, h5, and f3. I played a sideline against Supi the first time we played. I played the move queen to c8, and you know, he played the best move, which is attacking my center, now that my queen no longer defends the center of the board. And we got a relatively normal-looking position early on. Those of you that watch consistent content on this channel will know that recently I made a video where I played against the cheater, and I played the move h5, and I got destroyed. And back then, I also played the move h5. It's really funny. This move h5 is really bad. Supi doesn't play knight f3. He does it this way. And he basically goes after my bishop, and he puts his bishop on g5 instead, which is also completely reasonable. Yeah, I mean, I'm just basically selecting the completely wrong approach here, but watch how fast he makes me pay. So my logic here was, I'm going to trade knights, we're going to get this position, going to develop this knight to d5, and I'll be fine. He allows me to take on g3. It's like, what? Why would he do that? That's so bad for his structure. Bishop b4, castles, knight d7. And then here, instead of playing bishop d3 here, he moves his knight backwards. And the point is that he is going to go after my bishop, and I have nowhere to put my bishop. So if, for example, I bring my bishop to e4, he will play queen b3, hitting my bishop here. Then he will sacrifice on e6, and because my king is stuck in the middle of the board, I simply die. And so what I did in the game is I tried to remove his bishop from existence before he would be able to attack me. After takes, you would think in this position that he would play rook takes c4, but he did not do that. Supi played the very cool, calm, and collected queen d3. He doesn't even take the knight back. And I resign. Yeah, why did I resign? I cannot move my king. My king is completely stuck in the middle of the board, and I have no way to defend g6. I mean, I can play the move rook h6, but then he will just take, then he will take, then he will take, and then he will, you know, take, and then take, and then take, and then just take everything. Queen d3 and the game is over. I have absolutely no way of stopping my king from getting hunted. Queen g6, king d7, queen f7, and I'm just simply mated. So my very first time playing Supi, my favorite opening was absolutely vanquished. This is a game that I didn't even remember. When I went through our games against each other, I was like, oh my god, he completely killed me. I don't even remember this game. And that was just the beginning. In our second Blitz game ever against one another, like I always say, Supi is better than me, and one of the reasons why I think I struggle against him so much, he's extremely fast, and he's much better at, he's like just enough better at tactics than I am to play faster and more accurately more often. So my openings, I always get a decent position against him in the opening. My openings are GM level. The problem is my middle game and end game is not GM level. And our second game against each other, I played a 4 pawns attack, and he played kind of a sideline, and I got, I got a decent position, right? Like I had a nice position from the opening. He played the move c5, and I had a better understanding of the opening position than him. This is a King's Indian defense where black has played e5 and c5, which means that his play on the center is sort of dead. He has to play the move f5 at some point, and he's looking to play knight d6. Now, I have the better position from the opening, but will I be able to outplay him over the course of a 6-minute game, right? We both have 3 minutes. So I play bishop g5. The idea here is to make him move his f-pawn to further congest his position. Now I will drop back, and he plays knight d6. At this point, I begin with operations on the queen side, probably. I want to prevent his knight from coming to b4. He plays the move b6, enabling the movement of his knight, bishop d7, and I go to trade his bishop on h6. I'm doing this so I can remove 1 layer of defense from his king. The problem is this is not really a great plan, because if you think about it, my bishop is far superior to his. And I should actually just be playing rook e1. I should maybe be creating an attack or anticipating f5. So I kind of go with the wrong plan. And his position is now very solid. Now I'm still better. I'm still better because I have more central space. None of his pieces can really move. And the only break in the position is the move f5. If I play the move rook e1, he will never successfully play the move f5, which will basically render his position absolutely bad. So what do I do at this point, right? It's time for me to convert. I begin moving forward. And immediately my advantage is gone. So he plays one retreating move, and I just can't help myself, and I begin moving forward, and he comes right back and attacks my pawn. I try to kick it. Right? I'm trying to make some progress, right? He plays the move a6. I play the move a5. Look at that. I think I'm so clever, right? And the idea here is that, he takes, I'm going to take, if he takes this way, I might take this, but I might also shove my pawn in there and then try to defend it, right? So he plays ab5, ab6. And he hits me with this move, knight a8. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, I thought my pawn, right, if I try to hang on to my pawn with the move rook a6, he'll play b4, rook b8, he's just going to win my pawn. So I have to make a split-second decision here. What do? I trade like this, and I play queen e3, and I'm thinking, okay, well, the queen side's locked up, rook a6 doesn't really do anything, right? So I'm going to play knight h4, queen g3, knight f5. I'm going to create an attack on this side of the board. And how quickly here Supi just completely turns this around is incredible. All right? First he plays queen c7. Then he shoves forward the c-pawn, and he infiltrates into my position and cuts my attack immediately with the move queen c5. I now no longer have my most powerful piece, as we are forced to make some trades here. He proceeds to win my b-pawn, one of my 2 passed pawns that was blockaded by his position. Look at this blockade. He has the 2 knights, the rook and the pawn, and he just rolls forward. The f-rook, which made a defensive move several moves ago, now suddenly jumps into the attack, and the pawn is coming. And here, just to avoid any nonsense, he just brings his king over to make sure he has further defense of his position. Not to mention, I don't have a lot of time on the clock because he's much faster than me. And now, it's not the pawn on this side that's going to kill me. He actually successfully plays the move f5. I've been trying to kind of prevent this move for 37 moves. Well, on move 37, he is able to play it, and he just bulldozes he won all my pawns. He won all my pawns, and the game ends with a flashy move. Rook takes bishop, king takes, knight e3, he'll take this, and then he'll promote. Rook takes f1 on move 45, and I resign. So, these are the 2 ways that Supi constantly beats me. He either completely destroys me, or he is able to defend the position long enough that I misplay it, and then he completely overtakes, and he beats me anyway, right? So